You better buckle up because this is going to be a good Cardano video. This is the Cardano weekly chart, the Cardano daily chart, the Cardano 6-hour chart. We're going to dig into all of it, including, yes, the very fact that ADA is falling right now with the rest of crypto. But the big news, as you hit that subscribe and like on the way in, everybody, the big news, Cardano's Chang hard fork goes live, introducing on-chain governance. I'm taking my approach to this video like most videos. This is from a macro mindset. This is a zoomed out mindset. There's a lot of people that watch crypto and they're zoomed in, they're seeing what's happening. This is not my mindset with pretty much any of my crypto videos, but specifically as we talk about now, this community-driven governance that is happening with Cardano right now and what's happening on the charts, this is a macro mindset. And I really just want to say that from the beginning of the video. But let's start with the news, and then we're going to dive into, we're going to talk about some, I just saw this post from Elliott Trades, a macro super cycle type of thought that I'm going to apply to the Cardano charts. And I really just want to talk about what happened though, before we even get into any of that. Cardano Chang hard fork complete. Cardano's officially a top 10 crypto completely powered by the people. Now you, the ADA holder, have a say in Cardano's future and more control over its development. If you don't think this is a big deal, even if you just can't stand Cardano, rethink it. Rethink it. This isn't just another blockchain. It's a community-driven powerhouse. And I'm saying rethink it because you have somebody like Justin over here on X. He's been a very big Cardano critic. He's even congratulations to the ADA community for implementing on-chain governance today. It's because it is a big milestone, a critical milestone that most have not achieved yet. As true decentralization at scale is impossible without governance, others pretend to be decentralized but are still controlled at the center. Cardano is no longer controlled at the center. He commented on, he basically replied to a comment, credit where credit's due, out of the top 20, only 2 have full on-chain governance, ADA and DOT. So just a quick reminder, everybody, Cardano's a top 10 and it has true on-chain governance. That's what's happening right now. And I just want to say congrats to, Cardano holders. It's exciting if you're in the crypto space, you're a Cardano holder. It's exciting stuff that's happening. So what does it mean? I wanted to go over a few points and then we're going to go right to the charts. And if you want to see the charts, you don't even want to hear about this, hit the timestamps. Stay on the video though, because the charts are going to be good, everybody. With the Chang upgrade now live, ADA token holders will be able to shape Cardano's future by electing governance representatives and voting on development proposals. Moving forward, Cardano's, this is really what I wanted to just read. Cardano's 3 founding entities, the Cardano Foundation, IOHK, and Emergo, will no longer have the keys to trigger chain upgrades or hard forks. That's crazy. The changes bring Cardano further in line with the blockchain industry's decentralized ethos. So if you go to a Cardano zoomed out chart, if you've been watching my videos, especially over the years, you know we've been talking so much about all these hard forks. The Shelley hard fork. This is all the way, I can't believe this is so long ago, 2020. This is the staking mechanism coming online. That's where this really started. At least my journey in tracking Cardano was like back here. And then we had the multi-asset ledger with the Mary hard fork, Alonzo smart contracts. Look at the foundation being laid here. The Vasil hard fork, scalability coming into play. And now the Chang hard fork, decentralization, community-run blockchain. All of this happening and the timing of it. And we can start talking about value now of ADA. We can start talking about price of ADA. But all of it coming together as we do consider all these things. This is a huge piece of my thesis. Cardano is so undervalued. And whether or not markets, stock market, crypto, continues falling, consolidating because we are where we are with rate hikes, rate decreases and how that plays into the market in the shorter term, this chart, as it relates to crypto, is just one of the best setups. Again, macro mindset. Crypto is long-term, everybody. We're just getting started in this space. And I just think Cardano is so well positioned from a value standpoint. And this is why I continually talk about this. Cardano's doing things that other projects in the top 10 certainly are not doing or achieving currently. And so as we dive into these charts, I just wanted to kind of keep that in mind. So we're going to talk about the macro. I want to talk about the super cycle aspect And it's something I'm going to talk about in tomorrow's general crypto video, but I do want to apply it to the charts. And then we'll dig in and zoom in on the charts, the shorter term price action. Why is ADA falling? What's going on? So let's start here. This was Elliott over here on X. So here's the thing. If we don't break out here, we can start to categorize this whole run as an extended 2019. And from a structure standpoint, from a charting standpoint, you're going to see in just a minute why that makes sense, the possibility of it at least, which would mean a very, very extended cycle, which means we go higher for longer than we ever really hoped, maybe deep into 2026, aka super cycle. So here's what I think. There's so much to this. It would take just so much longer to talk about, but I want to read one sentence to you. This is a piece of what I'm going to talk about in tomorrow's video. So make sure you watch the video because we dive into this data, but the data is compelling. 86% of the time, the S&P 500 index posted positive returns 12 months after the initial rate cut. There's so much talk. Dude, every time rates get cut, market crashes. There's so much talk about that. Maybe there's going to be an initial shock, an initial downturn. And how that plays on the crypto charts like Cardano, it could probably be pretty ugly in the short term. But if that were to happen, and then we get a 12-month positive result, and we continue on in this cycle, that plays so much into what Elliott over here is saying about a super cycle and about the charts. But even more so if we look at the charts, and this is just me trying to bring data together and look at different possibilities, right? Anything can happen. But if we look at the charts now and discuss what he's talking about 2019, right? So 2019 kind of back here. And this consolidation is just such, and we've talked about this, I think, in a very recent video, it's just such a similar consolidation to back here, even this 20-week falling below the 50-week, that green below the blue. There's so many similarities, and we open up a stock RSI. Check it out. We have ADA currently in this very similar area on the RSI, consolidating in this very similar manner. The only difference is we're post-Bitcoin halving here, and this is why he's saying an extended cycle, because just look, and I'm going to put the bars pattern on so we can really get a sense of this, but if we're in a very similar consolidation, more choppy waters, and even look at the stock RSI, by the way. The stock RSI in such a similar type of move right now, this quicker moving momentum oscillator. But let's put the bars pattern, and you can see why a super cycle into 2026 could be in play. And I'm not trying to just throw copium out there, everybody, but it's just another angle of data that I do want to talk about. So let's focus on the 20-week back here in 2019, falling below the 50-week, and just kind of shortly after that, there's a big red candle. That's kind of where we are in a very similar technical analysis type of area on ADA right now. And again, if you look currently, the 20-week falling below the 50 in a very similar type of vibe. We overlay this chart. Here we obviously have the COVID dip. Who knows? This always throws speculation off, right, when we're trying to chart this, but who knows? Maybe we get a similar dip. Look, this could be a short-term reaction to interest rates being lowered, and there's our terrible market that happens. ADA goes lower, everything goes lower. But if the data plays out, and this is 86% of the time, S&P 500 index posted positive returns 12 months after initial rate cut, maybe we'll be part of the 14%, but that doesn't happen. But what if it does happen, right? We get the short term to the downside move. Who knows what it looked like, but then continued into the bull market. What could that possibly look like for Cardano and in general crypto, everybody? Crypto is so early. It's so undervalued. I think if there's going to be some type of downturn in the market, it's going to be short to midterm, and I don't think it's going to be this macro multi-year thing. I just don't think that's what it's going to be. And crypto will be, I think, in the lead in terms of what a bounce would look like. And here's what an ADA chart could look like. And here you can see this going into 2026. This could be what the super cycle really does look like. And notice the patience. I really want to point this out. If this is true, notice the patience involved in just the entire bear market and the entire sideways waiting for an altcoin season that takes longer than previous cycles. Because remember, historically, altcoin season starts around now. Maybe the macroeconomic landscape of things is making us wait longer. Maybe it doesn't. This is, again, just another angle, but I wanted to put that on these charts. And keeping in mind all the while the technical foundation that Cardano has right now. That's to say, the most powerful staking mechanism. That's to say, the most decentralized community-run blockchain. That's to say, now positioned to really tackle scalability. Cardano is going to be just a powerhouse. It just is. And what's that going to look like in a bull market? I think it's going to look pretty powerful. But let's talk about the short term, especially you look at this 6 hour. I'm going to use the 6 hour to kind of show you what I'm looking for if markets keep falling. I don't know how the week is going to open. There has to be some type of differentiation between like all of this macro, super cycle, fundamental bullish talk that we have, and then really the short term, because short term, it's always just like anything goes. We are all over the place, always. In the short term. I mean, just look, beginning of August, 20 some cents. And then all of a sudden, third week of August or so, 40 cents. We're back in the bull and then we're falling again. Nobody knows on the short term. It's always like this. But I'm going to use the 6 hour in just a minute to show you what I'd be watching for on the 6 hour to find the bottom if crypto does fall. But here's on the daily, what I continue to watch. And that is these moving averages. I hate to keep repeating this, everybody, but the lower lows, lower highs below the moving averages, it is actually, if you're going to do technical analysis a lot, it's frustrating to watch because you want the breakout, you want the flip to happen, the 20 crossing above the 50, right? And then just up, higher highs, higher lows above those moving averages, and we just continually don't get it. But on the daily, I'm just waiting for that. Right now, the 20-day moving average around 35 cents, the 50-day moving average 37 cents. And if we look at the RSI, this is what I'm most watching also on the RSI. Nice to see stock RSI falling into oversold, right? We want to see that even if it's going to hang out there for a while and ADA goes lower. It's just good to see that it's finally approaching oversold. We might be getting close to a bottom. Could be a painful week before that happens, but we're getting there. The other thing though, I'd be watching is when ADA does hit a bottom, right? And notice even on the chart, you have this yellow trend line, this lower trend line that's in yellow. ADA is approaching that. Even if ADA falls below it, let's say, if it closes a daily candle below this previous swing low back here, what's the RSI doing? This slower moving momentum oscillator here. What is it doing? Are we putting in some type of higher low, meaning swing low that was oversold, and then we're putting in a bottom, and then it's a higher low bounce? This could be some bullish divergence, meaning lower low on price, higher low on the RSI. This is something that just happens often in crypto. I didn't even mention, if you look at the weekly chart, there was bullish divergence, right, at this moment in 2019 back here, meaning the momentum oscillator seeing just this slight higher low type of movement, similar to right now, higher low type of movement, while all the while it was kind of falling in price, right? Consolidating, falling in price, which is very much what's happening now. So depending, you're on a weekly, a daily, whatever, that's something I'm always looking out for is bullish divergence, because although it doesn't happen right away, it could be a very powerful signal that we're about to get some type of bounce. Maybe it's a macro bullish bounce into a new bullish cycle, or on a daily chart, it just means a reversal is in play. So that's what I'm watching. I really just don't know, even in the next day, what markets are going to do. You know, what are traditional markets going to do? What's crypto going to do? If we go lower though, that's something I'll be keeping an eye out for. And also if we go lower, it's this 6 hour chart that I think offers really helpful short-term guidance. That is to say, and we're getting very close. If you look at the 6 hour, this is kind of like a short-term fear and greed index, this thing. If you look at the 6 hour, and it's actually pretty interesting and compelling. This oversold area on the 6 hour, if you just look, anytime it's happened, it doesn't signal like this macro reversal, right? Because you can see, yeah, we hit here before. This wasn't a reversal for the market, right? For ADA. We hit here back here. This wasn't a reversal on the longer term. It went lower. But what I'm trying to point out to you is, if you just look back, every time we do fall into this area of oversold, at the very least, what happens is a bounce. And that's important on the 6 hour, because how it translates on the daily is this. Those bounces that happen are testing key areas, key macro areas. In this case, the moving averages, the daily moving averages. So if we want to test these moving averages again, which we do to finally see a macro reversal, this 6-hour indicators, I think, are incredibly helpful. And watch this. I'm going to zoom out very far. Look at all of the times it falls into this red area of oversold. It's making some type of move to the upside. Look at this. Every time. Even if it's not like this macro reversal, it's at least making a move to the upside to test key areas. And then you go back even further, same thing. Even in uptrends, it's hitting that area, right? And then it's going higher. And then now, I want to show you this as well. Going all the way back here to 2023, look at this. Oversold, some type of move to the upside, right? This one failed. This one just, man. And that's, look at that. What was that? That was like that was like the last low of the bear market. That's what that was. So this indicator, I think, is really helpful to me. It's something I'm going to try and watch, which is to say, if we go lower, if ADA is falling in this area, especially for short-term people, I'm not saying I'm going to trade this or, you know, short-term traders, though, this is helpful. These momentum oscillators on the shorter term, the 6 hours. So that's what I'll be watching on the short term. But all the while, everybody, crazy, crazy, crazy bullish day for ADA in a fundamental way. And I think even in a chart way, because this chart is just getting set up, in my view, on the macro for a powerful move when the crypto markets decide they're going higher. Because I think it's only a matter of time. It's just a matter of when. And none of us know. That's why I track these videos. I try and just bring all this different data that just kind of can give different speculative scenarios and just be prepared for anything, either way. So this is what I'm watching as we start this new week. And Cardano becomes a community-driven blockchain. Pretty craziness. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate you cruising through. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.